Hi, welcome to Volatility 411 for Tuesday, September 8th. I'm Russell Rhodes, head of research and consulting at EQ Derivatives. It's a post-Labor Day market, but the S&P 500 is continuing the trend that we saw late last week, down around 2% to start the day. VIX is up around 290 to 3365. Normally on a post-3-day weekend, I would talk about how we get a little extra boost, a little bit of tailwind after a 3-day weekend for VIX, just based on how the calculation works. However, with the S&P 500 down 2%, we would expect VIX to be up today. Just looking at the futures activity, there's 1 week left for the September futures contract. September was at 31.80, October up at 36.90, and then November down at 31. We've seen quite a bump in October relative to November lately. The longer end, December to May, it's basically a steady line from 30 down to 27.50. Just a nice, gentle move lower. Now, over the weekend, I saw somebody commenting about the October VIX futures on LinkedIn. The gist of what they were saying is that elevated October VIX futures means that someone is expecting a pre-election volatility event. I just don't agree with that opinion. You've got to keep in mind that the October VIX options and futures will expire in a calculation that is based on the standard November options, the options that do expire after the election. Think more of the election this time around as an earnings event where you would expect volatility on broad-based options to grind higher as we approach the event, and we'll still have a couple of weeks to go for the election when October comes off the board. And finally, a little trading activity. The VIX 70 calls, the most active options this morning. 98% of them have traded on the offer side at prices between 20 cents and 30 cents. And then finally, I'm going to talk about futures just a little bit. About 150,000 of the September VIX futures traded last Friday. There's a feature on Trade Alert where you can see how much traded on the bid, on the offer, and in the middle. Typically, those numbers are pretty equal to each other. However, look like a slight bit more selling of September VIX futures, at least looking at Trade Alert, from last Friday's market activity. So with all of that, I'm Russell Rhodes, and that's your Volatility 411.